Hi, I'm Penelope Terry. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Brooklyn College. Today we're going to learn about a Brooklyn College program, BC Bound. This is a program that allows qualified, motivated students who have earned their GED or TASC high school equivalency diplomas to enter Brooklyn College as first-time, full-time freshmen. To learn more about the program, we're going to hear from the program's two founders, Dr. Sharona Levy and Richard Vento, the head of the Learning Center.
Brooklyn College has a very long and proud history of supporting non-traditional students, especially those who did not have high school equivalencies, sometimes through the GI Bill or sometimes through some special programs. Over the years, as it sort of raised its admissions criteria, this group of students sort of fell by the wayside. And somewhere around 2010, 2011, we realized that there really weren't as many GED students as there used to be. And this was an important part of the community that we weren't serving anymore.
Having taught in a variety of GED test prep programs, it became abundantly clear that the reason why many students do not finish high school has little to do with academics. The reasons are really sort-of students may have been ill, they were forced to work to support their families, maybe take care of a parent or a sibling who may have been ill. So the great thing about BC Bound is that it offers an opportunity for these students to start over again. Turn the page, start on a fresh, clean slate, and enter a 4-year senior level college as a freshman.
We were very lucky in that the CUNY Black Male Initiative, which is known as the CUNY BMI, which is supported by funds from New York City Council, appreciated what we were trying to do. And they stepped in and gave us financial and other kinds of resource support. And so we're a proud member of the CUNY BMI family. The BC Bound learning community consists of national best practices in how to serve first generation and first year students. So the BC Bound learning community consists of 5 courses. They take together math, pre-calculus, so it's a very challenging program, freshman composition, a freshman seminar class and how to sort of adjust to college life. And then they take together with other students music. It's a gen ed music class, which is history and theory. And then the students have to take one course completely on their own. And that makes up the BC Bound courses in that learning community. But there's more to that learning community. It has dedicated tutoring twice a week, where they all come together and do academic advancement. It has peer mentors attached to it. That's very important for these students. The peer mentors are former BC Bound students who have been very successful. And it's so important for the incoming students to see themselves or what they could be in a few years.
Within BC Bound, it's very important that there's a great deal of communication, whether it's tutors talking with instructors, our interns talking with the administrators. It's important for us to be very proactive in supporting our students. At any given time, life can get difficult for all of us, really. So when students seem to be dipping a little bit in their academics or they seem to be struggling within a certain area, one will notify the other and we will do our best to support those students in whatever way we possibly can. I've always looked at BC Bound as kind of a mom and pop operation in a much larger corporation. Yes, the students are Brooklyn College students, but we're able to give them a great deal of support and really get to know the students on a deeper level. We're lucky enough to have a lot of key players at Brooklyn College play a role in BC Bound.
The last part of the BC Bound community, which is very important, are the MSW, Master Social Work interns from Hunter, that meet with the students individually and as a group and are able to deal with the one part that in a sense we can't give them, which is student support. They can talk to them about family issues, personal issues, psychological issues. They can really make the difference also in helping these students adjust and do well at Brooklyn College. So what kind of students do we get in BC Bound? We get everything from 17-year-olds, so students who are more traditional, to in their 50s. So we really run the gamut.
Now that we've heard from the founders of the program, let's hear from the real source, BC Bound students. Joining us will be 3 Brooklyn College students who started as BC Bound students: Victoria, Kevin, and Raquel. Starting with Victoria, let's look at a short clip and find out how she came to be a BC Bound student.
I'm Victoria St. Clair, and I'm a first-generation student at Brooklyn College, as well as a first-generation immigrant to the United States. 3.5 years ago, I moved to the United States without a plan to come to college and was not sure of how I would do so. Going to college was always my dream. Being that I was not a conventional student, the BC Bound program helped me a lot. I'm proud to say that I'm a senior at Brooklyn College studying sociology with a concentration in health and nutrition. I'm excited about learning art, as well as I like giving back by volunteering. I would say that the BC Bound program helped me tremendously to progress this far, as their goal is student success. They're success oriented. They helped me with areas that I was struggling in academic-wise. They helped me with gaining connectedness through mentorship programs, visiting the Career Center. They helped me with volunteering where I can network. We became a family where we each support each other. We felt like no one should be left behind. Thanks to the BC Bound program, I was able to not only be accepted into Brooklyn College, I was also employed. So I currently work on campus, so I'm much more stable. I'm closer to my dream of becoming a public health officer in the public health program at Brooklyn College, with my major being sociology and a concentration in health and nutrition.
So Victoria, tell us a little bit about starting college. We know it's challenging. Tell us, what was your biggest challenge and how did you resolve it?
Well, starting college for me, I see it as a sea of opportunity, the college experience. And I felt that I could have easily been overwhelmed by so many options that I have with choosing majors, what clubs I would get into, employment opportunities. My biggest challenge was figuring out where I would fit in, because I'm pretty indecisive, and college itself is such a broad spectrum of opportunities. So I did have trouble figuring out what I wanted to do, which clubs I would go to, my interest, and how I would make that a possibility for me to progress. And the BC Bound program actually helped me because I felt like I had somewhere to go, people to interact with. I felt like the network and the community that the BC Bound program offered helped to guide me into the direction where I needed to go. I now have declared my major as sociology and a concentration in health and nutrition, which leads me to the public health program, which has actually been an interest of mine for a long time, that I would not have known was possible for me if I didn't have the mentors and the support group of the BC Bound program. So that's how I resolved it. With the BC Bound program, even though I left it in the first year, my freshman year, it followed me to my senior year, so that I have somewhere where I can fit in, and the experience that I have learned I can pass on to incoming BC Bound students.
Great. Thank you. Now, let's get to know Kevin. We're going to watch a short clip about Kevin, who is another successful participant in the BC Bound program.
Hi, my name's Kevin, and I'm a sophomore here at Brooklyn College, and I'm part of the BC Bound program. When I was in high school, I had to deal with a very difficult family situation, and it pushed me out of high school, but luckily I was able to come to college through the BC Bound program. And it was really hard to still be dealing with that difficult family situation in a brand new environment, but luckily I had the help of administrators and my fellow students to help me through that. One of the most difficult things about college is trying to figure out what you want to major in and what career you want to have, and that can be really difficult because you're trying a lot of new things and a lot of new classes and subjects. And it can be really hard to try and to fail at things, but luckily I had the support of BC Bound, and that's made things a lot easier for me. The most difficult chapter for me at Brooklyn College was when I tried out for the engineering program. I had to take like 16 credits that semester, and in the end I realized that engineering just wasn't for me. And it was really hard to have to drop all of my classes this semester, and I really failed at what I set out to do. And that was a very difficult situation, but I'm happy that I had the support of the BC Bound administrators and counselors. Now I've realized that my biggest passion in life is just helping people, so right now my major is psychology. And every day on campus I get to help people in the Magner Career Center, and I also work in the information booth here on campus and being a math tutor, and I think that's really important for me, is that BC Bound gave me like the first steps to start helping people, and here's where I realized what my passion is.
Thanks for joining us, Kevin. Can you tell me what particular component of the program helped to make you so successful in the program?
I'd say the biggest contributor would be just the network of other BC Bound students that are available to me. I think we're all kind of a support group for each other because I guess as older students or for students who have had trouble in high school, we kind of face very similar challenges. So it's very cathartic to be able to rely on one another and to talk about our issues. But also I think BC Bound students are very involved on campus, and they're part of a lot of clubs and different volunteer opportunities, and a lot of them have jobs on campus. And we all kind of encourage and we help each other, and we pass along opportunities whenever we see them. So I think that's really important.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to hear about from one of our other students in the program. We're going to have a short clip about Raquel.
Hi, my name is Raquel Irizarry, and I'm a BC Bound student. I came here to Brooklyn College in 2013. I had decided, after being a full-time mom and raising my own son and putting him through college, that it was finally time for me to get back to the things that I wanted to do and I had put on hold for many, many years. Unfortunately, I had dropped out of high school, and I went back and got my GED 2 years after I had dropped out at the age of 16, but I never went back to school. And so I wasn't sure if I was going to be accepted here at Brooklyn College, and fortunately the BC Bound program opened up just in time for me. And since then I have been exposed to many wonderful professors and many wonderful experiences here at Brooklyn College. Coming back to school, I had to reinvent myself. I had to figure out how to study and to concentrate. In the beginning, it was hard, and there were many times I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to make it, and I kept on saying to myself, you know, just hang on, just get through it. And I found that every time I came upon a situation like that where I was in a class and things seemed difficult, that if I kept on saying to myself, you'll get through it, you'll get through it, you really do. You really do get through it. And you always find a way. If you feel you're falling behind, you know, you talk with your professor, you never know how, but somehow, some way, it always manifests that, you know, that the way ahead, even though it seems difficult, is there laid out for you. All you have to do is take the first step. Now I'm a senior, and I'm looking forward to graduate school and that process. And so my life ahead is sort of like my dream is coming true. And I know that if it happened to me, it can happen to you.
Hi, Raquel. As a graduating senior, can you choose one aspect of the program that you really think helped you to get where you are today?
I have to say that the founders of the program, Sharona Levy and Rich Vento, they really have been my cheerleaders. And that's so important when you have somebody who's supporting you and giving you the inspiration to go on, and just knowing that you can make it and keeping you focused on that. That's really, really important. So that was really helpful to me in being successful. Also being part of the BC Bound community and having, when you're walking on campus and you get to see another BC Bound student, it's not just like, oh, hi and goodbye. It's like a big hug. How's everything going? And sort of you sort of cue in with each other and find out what's going on, and it really helps you, stay motivated.
Great. So for the whole panel now, in your first semester as a BC Bound student, you're new to college. Tell me, was there a class that was your favorite, and why was that class your favorite? You want to start, Raquel?
Yeah, for me, it was history of art. I really loved it. I love art to begin with and history. But it was wonderful to find out how Western art really starts with Egypt and moving on to the Greeks and then Romans, and how one civilization sort of builds on another. And a lot of the things that we take for granted today really started way back in ancient history. So to me, it was very enlightening, very inspiring, just to hear the sort of like the story of humanity and how it began and where we are now.
Great, thanks. How about you, Kevin?
I'd say my favorite class my first semester was math, and I didn't think that I would have a natural aptitude for it, but in the end I realized that I loved formulas and theories and models and like the abstraction of the entire thing. And also became like the de facto tutor for my cohort. And I kind of also got to see how everyone else learned and how everyone did math, and how some people preferred to see it visually, like on a graph, and some people were very neat and organized with their steps, and other people, skipped steps in order to find the answers. So I think that was all very fascinating for me.
Thank you. How about you, Victoria? What was your favorite class?
I would have to agree with Kevin. The pre-calculus class was my favorite, but I liked it particularly because it gave me an idea of what college life would be like, what classes are going to be like in general, where it is challenging, but I have to apply myself and I have to assess my learning style and then critically apply what I am learning to how I'm going to pass the class. I know most students want to pass the class, but it's more of assessing your learning style and applying what you learned critically. So I felt like that was a skill that I took on to all my other classes at Brooklyn College, and I'm glad that it was offered in the beginning so that we can assess ourselves. Because we look at it as a challenging subject, but once you take away all of that, the mindset that you have for pre-calculus in particular, you would be able to apply your knowledge to all other classes. So I enjoyed the pre-calculus as well.
So that's a great answer. Tell me, what do you think is the best part about being part of the Brooklyn College community? Kevin?
I'd say probably the campus. I think the campus is beautiful, specifically the library. I just love that I can go in there and I can get peace and quiet and sit in the LaGuardia room with all the art books and just study. So I really appreciate that.
Raquel?
I have to agree with Kevin. The campus is really lovely, and I actually enjoy taking summer courses because you get to sort of see to be around the beautiful nature. The pond is wonderful, and you can sit there and study and relax. So that's one of my favorite things here at the college.
What about you, Victoria?
The community itself, the diverse population of students at Brooklyn College, and you are going to interact with them daily. So you're preparing yourself for differences of people and difference of opinions and different cultures. So I think that the population or the diversity in itself, living in New York is one thing, but going to a college where there's so many different types of people who come from different backgrounds, who experience life in different ways, you're exposing yourself to what I don't think you would have received elsewhere. So I think that Brooklyn College itself being a part of the community, I can say that I belong to what represents a bigger picture.
Wow, that's interesting. I want to thank our panelists today, and I want to thank the viewers for watching. I want to thank you, Victoria, Kevin, and Raquel, for sharing with us your experiences You really exemplify what is great about Brooklyn College and the BC Bound program. For you viewers who would like more information about Brooklyn College and the BC Bound program, please visit the Brooklyn College website at www.brooklyn.cuny.edu. Thank you for watching.